do this one, they say Cole Palmer, Cold Palmer, anything small we did not hear. Shena Ganacho has gone. Today I went to a viewing center. Everywhere na Ganacho. I'm like, I beg you, keep quiet. He just got there. It's only Chelsea fans that have a problem with people praising talents. It's just like now that we're on this Madueke thing, everybody's acting very funny. But when I said it in the morning that people are just so blind, when you see a player that is
Watch Transit TV right now.
Transit TV back again, week 4 EPL reviews. We have some very interesting games and results this weekend, and as usual, we're here to make sense of some of these games. There are a couple of results that are surprising to me and performances as well. I have a man, Boom, on show again today. Choma and Nimi are going to join us in a bit. Man like Ify is conspicuously absent today. We'll try to have him midweek, Champions League week this week as well. So yeah, man like Ugum, like Ify always says it, you are welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Reggie. Great to be back on Transit Sports TV. Man, like if we miss you, man, we need you back as soon as possible. Please, if you're watching the show, kindly do what we usually say. Go ahead and like the video and subscribe, and please share with your friends. Let's get it going.
Arsenal 3, Forest 0. I don't know what stood out for you in this game. It can be from either of the teams, Arsenal, Forest. What really was stood out for you in that game?
I would say first of all, options is the word I would use. Keyword for Arsenal, options. Just for the 5-6 minutes into the game, Martin Odegaard, who really is the conduit for us now, everything runs through him, hurt his shoulder. And when he fell, I thought it was a normal thing, but I saw the fall. It was actually the same shoulder that he had hurt in the past. And so, I feared the worst for him. He got substituted. And Nwaneri was brought in. Man, I have to give Nwaneri some credit, man. That young boy can play. I really enjoyed him in the game. He came in from the first pass. I saw, he was rushed. He collected the ball, kept his cool, made the first pass, and then from there, moved forward. So Arsenal now have more options than they've ever had, as a team. Yeah, that's one option, that one keyword. The second keyword I want to highlight from that performance is intensity. Yeah, the team plays with passion and purpose, and the level of intensity that I am enjoying as a fan. Right, they seem to be focused on the job. Everybody seems to be dialed in, and you see that the way they play, the play comes with passion. Everybody's committed to the tackle, committed to covering their own spaces, committed to not losing the ball. So I see that, and I hope that continues. So 2 words: one is option, second is intensity.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree less to you, but there are so many talking points in that game, starting from what's his name, VG, racking up the numbers, 3 goals in 4 games now, and that would do a lot to his confidence. You know how it is in this EPL league, especially Arsenal. Anything Arsenal or EPL is highly, highly magnified. A lot of people say that Arsenal paid a lot of money for him. I don't know how that be when it was bought for 65 million. Players were bought for 75 and 80 who haven't even scored a goal. But I mean, there was so much noise about Arsenal not having a striker, and again, Arsenal signing Bucharest. This transfer dragged almost all summer. So for him to come in and manage to get another goal yesterday and now having scored 3 in 4 games, I think it's good for Arsenal. That means it shows the team that there was no mistake in signing him, and at the same time giving him confidence as a player. And I now put him at, he should be able to score 30 goals this season because he's looking at the team, is beginning to understand how he plays. There's still a lot of work to be done in that area. People like Noni Madeke, who had a very good game as well, maybe there needs to be understanding between him and Gokares, and I believe Gokares will score a lot of goals. Eze has always been a creator, and creators always find a way to find the finisher. So I don't have any problem with Eze. I know he's going to be able to find Bucharest, but it's other players like Odegaard, Noni Madeke, what's his name again? Merino and other attacking midfielders and Zubimendi them to understand how he runs and how he wants his passes to be played. But it strikes to me like a striker that wants, I think every striker wants that and wants the ball to be played in early. Because if you do that, the defense are not settled. Before they settle, finishers, and that's why Haaland is very, very, very deadly because he doesn't take a touch. Once he draw the ball where he wants it, the next thing you see is the finishing. And that's how finishers play. So if Arsenal in midfield and players can understand that and begin to do, because before it was too many touches around the ball before the goal comes. But right now they have somebody that is ready anytime to just, and he had another very thunderous strike as well that hit the crossbar, and that would have been a very good finishing from a pass that he lashed onto from Noni Madeke. Choma, we have you on the show. Arsenal 3, Forest 0. I don't know what stood out for you in that game.
Everything stood out for me. Hello, everyone. So good to be back. This has been a very exciting weekend, by the way, because Arsenal kicked off the weekend. Everything stood out in that game. The defense stood out to me. Have you ever seen a game that you're watching and you're so relaxed that you even forget that you're under pressure? For everybody that made the formation in that game, apart from Captain Wonderful that had to leave, it was just a perfect lineup, perfect energy, perfect everything. It was a home game. You guys remember how we used to be last season now? Any Emirates game used to make your chest palpitate, you get? But this one was the cleanest we have ever played. So I felt so good
Yeah,
watching that game.
I like that one. It was very clean. There was really no. And that takes me to Mosquera. Let's talk about this young man very quickly, Ugum. And I see you smile there. It was a transfer in the summer that I was very interested in. Once I heard about him, I checked him out. And just like when Martinelli was signed, the news was more like he's going to be an understudy for Saliba, one for the future under 21 Spanish player and all that. But when you look at his profile, he played all season for Valencia. So he has been at the top level, regardless of his age. This young man has come in. I remember last weekend, me and man like if he had argument, or VV said I was raving about him too early. I said, no, I've seen the quality, I've seen the class. I don't need to wait for him to play 10 games. Obviously, as a player, he's going to make some mistakes along the line, which is normal with any player. But I don't know what you guys saw, but yesterday I saw a player who is ready to actually it might sound somehow to say give Saliba a run for his money, but he might be ready to give Saliba a run for his money. I know Saliba is up there, but Mosquera for me was immense or has been immense for Arsenal since he came in for Saliba. I don't know what you guys saw. You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, for me, young man is ready. He's ready to contend with Saliba. You can see his body language. You can see he's up for it. From what we heard, he fought hard to be able to leave Valencia. Valencia realized they were losing a gem. Their fans were incensed. They were not happy at all.
Yeah, they wanted to keep him for another 1 year at least.
Yes. But he insisted he wanted to leave and join Arsenal. And my goodness, I didn't know anything about this player, but what I've seen in a couple of games, like we were trying to say in that edition that we got into the back and forth with man like Ife. If you see quality, you know quality. You don't need a lot of opportunities to see quality. Now, I can understand he's not wanting us to hype the player and all that. people define hype in different ways. When you say a player is very good, you see potential, you see, greatness in the player. Some may call it hype, but yeah, you are just, saying what you feel about a player. Nobody knows the future, but if you see quality, you recognize it.
Exactly.
This young man has quality. He has the mentality, and you can see that he keeps it simple. He doesn't like to. He doesn't do anything over elaborate. He's not showy. He's just there, efficient, just like Zubimendi. He has that Zubimendi vibe as well. They are there putting in solid shift without making noise about it. And I think that I will give credit to the scouting system at Arsenal and the new football director. The fact that not just that these players are good when you see them, you see their character as well comes through in the way they carry themselves on the pitch.
I hear you, Chama. Before I come to you, Ugum, please. I know something in me is telling me that this Adidas shirt has a large that you got as well. So maybe after the show, I know how to get them. So please don't forget. I know you forgot to mention
it. Yeah, so Reggie. Yeah, we'll do an exchange.
No problem. So Chama, I don't know, Mosquera. You mentioned something there, and I was reflecting about it yesterday. There is something technically different from Spanish-built players. I see it in Zubimendi, I see it in Merino. They tend to have few seconds on the ball more than any other person, and they don't rush their decisions. I've seen that in Mosquera, and I've seen it in Zubimendi as well. They play the game without playing the game. I was having this conversation with Ugum the other day. Zubimendi is not the one that to tackle all over the pitch, but there's a way he controls the game without actually playing the football. I don't know, if you have noticed something like that.
So if I've been watching football for a minute, and I would say that is the flair that Spanish players ooze. Do you understand? It's when they are there, they are not too showy. They are like, see, I'll take care of business without being a showman. Is who they are. Players built in Spain, in their leagues, in their national teams, are not the same as players built anywhere. You see it in Zubi, you see it in Christian, is there in Merino. I don't care what anybody says, it's just there. These guys are just different. They have a special way of playing football. And let me even talk about Mosquera. There was a ball he cleared by lying on the ground with his head,
With his
like
and
a
the way he
fish.
directed the clearance.
Yeah. He laid down and then cleared it like just with his head like a fish. I laughed so hard. It made me laugh so hard because I understand what he did. That is someone who is tactical, someone who is clean. Do you understand? Like, I have to do this. I can understand Chelsea fans. I'm so sorry, I have to go at them. If not Chelsea fans now, they go begin, they give person headache. They go buy one player, we no go here. They go do this one, they say Cole Palmer, anything small we did not hear. Shena and Garnacho has gone. Today I went to a viewing center. Everywhere na Garnacho. I'm like, I beg you, keep quiet. He just got there. It's only Chelsea fans that have a problem with people praising talents. It's just like now that we're on this Madrid thing, everybody's acting very funny. But when I said it in the morning that people are just so blind, when you see a player that is destined for a club like Arsenal, just keep quiet. I don't know the kind of football they play over there at the bridge, but let me not even go too far. You understand what I'm saying? Ogum knows what I'm saying. When you see talent, you know talent.
I get you. And before we move on to the next game, I want to talk about two players as well. I mentioned this to you, Ogum, the other day, and I don't know what you think. Sorry, guys. For me, Gabriel Magalhaes has become, for me, is the most technically improved player in EPL in the last 3 seasons. When he came in, we knew as a defender he was good. We knew he knew how to defend. We knew he was raw. I had some mistakes, but in technical, his technical ability was limited. He couldn't really, on the ball, he was a little bit dodgy. He was dodgy. But 2-3 seasons gone, the kind of confidence, the passes that I see him make, the way he plays, even his tackles now are no longer are just tackles. Sometimes he tackles to win possession and initiate attack. And the
Who
second
are
player
you
I want to
talking
talk
about?
about is
No,
Zubimendi. I mentioned
Gabriel,
it
right?
sorry?
Gabriel Magalhaes, right?
Yes. And I mentioned it earlier as well. Zubimendi, when we had Partey was the one conducting our play in the midfield. And it kind of made that midfield a little bit congested because everything was in the midfield. But I was Zubimendi now since summer till now, 4 games to the season. There's a way he plays his own DM position. Sometimes he vacates that midfield and goes to left or right. And that has given Arsenal a little bit of less congestion in that midfield. Now, every ball doesn't have to go through there. Sometimes he conducts from left or right. I don't know if you guys, there's something that I'm liking the way Arsenal is playing right now.
Yeah, Gabriel Magalhaes, you're right. Dude is a leader, and he's showing it. It's wonderful to see his evolution. When he came into us now, he was rough around the edges, but you could see the physical ability, the way he plays, his passing, his intensity, his leadership from the back, right? But the guy has evolved into a well-rounded footballer, right? At the point, I wondered whether he would be able to break into that Brazilian team because it wasn't easy with the center backs they had, the likes of Thiago Silva, that had huge reputations, right? But when he got his chance, he took it. Gabriel, again, that's what I talk about, the scouts at Arsenal and the fact that they pay a lot of attention to the humanity part of the character part of the players, right? You see the same thing runs as a team almost through the squad. Guys that are stand-up human beings that know what they want, family-oriented. They are focused on getting better and improving. Gabriel has improved so much that, man, it's crazy. I cannot think of any better center back that I would swap him for. Of course, there are a lot of very good players out there, but I wouldn't swap Gabriel for anyone, right? Because of the way he plays. And his passing skills are underrated. I think that Brazil now because I've watched every of their qualifiers so far, his passing out from the back is constantly improving.
That's what I'm saying. The guy has really improved on that side of the game. No, he's really
that needs to be highlighted. And for the second season running, him and Saliba have been in the team of the year in the EPL. That says a lot.
Jama.
Oh, we're talking about Magalhaes, right? I was watching something and one Arsenal fan was saying something about Gabriel. He said it's not like we have forgotten how good he is, but he has brought us to a place of satisfaction that we just leave him. It's not like we don't like talking about him anymore, but we're satisfied. You know that child that you just know that no matter
don't
what
worry
happens,
about it. Yeah, exactly.
he will make the family proud. Do you understand? When Ugum was talking about him pushing, I'm like, he pushes attack. If he runs with his long legs from behind, it's the fact that he can push the attack and still run back with those long legs and go and cover. Now, right here, we're getting obsessed with the likes of Skele, looking at Kala with his fine hair, those back guys. Let's not even forget the fact that if they say, let's bet the best defenders right now in the Premier League, Arsenal will get like 4 spots. Because we're not joking.
You're right. In top 10
We're
defenders
not
in
joking
EPL
right
now,
now.
Arsenal will have like 4. During team by, I'm not even mentioning. We can't mention everybody. Calafiori is doing his thing right now. I know you will mention Calafiori and his hair, being a lady. I know he have. He looks like a ladies' man. The guy is.
No, since he started packing that hair in a bun, last season he was putting it all over the place. He wasn't concentrating. But immediately he packed it behind. Guy has been fired.
Your eyes, right? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But before we go, let's look at Forest. I don't know how they moved from packing the balls, having the goalkeeper actually shared the Golden Glove last season with Raya because they were a very, very defensive-minded team under Nuno, who did a very good job on that team. to signing Ange, who does not understand, who does not believe, in my own opinion, that defending is part of the game, that just throws caution out of the wind and just goes all guns blazing. These are players who are not comfortable playing out from back. I don't know how Edu has gone to Forest, and of course, he had his issue with Nuno. But the decision to bring in Ange is the one that I don't really understand. Obviously, like you mentioned, we don't know what the future holds. But from what we know about Ange, these are two parallel lines that will never meet, except maybe somehow those players had it in them before Ange arrived and he's going to bring it along. I don't know what you guys feel about Forest performance in this game.
Well, Forest, the appointment of Ange. No, okay. First of all, I do not like the sacking of but I think it was something at the board level. I heard it had something to do with Edu.
Yeah.
Again, it's unverified, so I don't want to hang on that. But appointing Ange isn't a bad idea, in the sense that if the players are able to buy into what he does, maybe the personnel. And I think, honestly, I've looked through the squad of Nottingham Forest. They actually have the tools for the kind of ball he plays. Yeah,
they have the tools up front. I don't know if they have it defensively.
They do. They have it defensively. Pace may be the issue.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Milokovic, we saw him in the international break. He was exposed and even got red carded because of lack of pace when he was exposed. So I don't know the comfortability of playing out of the back. That's my problem. But let's see what if he's going to be able to bring that in them. Choma, any reaction before we move to Chelsea? Nimi is here.
Hello, Nimi. Happy Sunday. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I joined at the right time. I'm always, ready to go at the right time.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, man.
Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you.
Congratulations on your game
Welcome,
yesterday. Let me talk about Nottingham Forest for a bit. Whatever is happening in Nottingham Forest, I'll call it village meeting. Do you understand? I'm so sorry, but the problems could have started with Edu. Do you understand? Could have started with Edu. And then sacking Nuno, who brought Nottingham Forest to a place of, should I say, a place of balance. Let me use that word, balance, last season. These guys became contenders. They became the team in the category of upsets, okay? When you're playing, exactly, their defense, it was Aina, it was Murillo. Murillo come on leg yesterday, joint, we're in the clear ball, right? He couldn't do the job alone. They were known for good defense. And did they not just buy like how many players? How many did they bring into the team? I think they have a set of new players. So Edu and the owner of Nottingham Forest bringing in Angie could just be the part that Angie comes from the man's village and he thinks Angie has the answer to his prayers, but I don't know how that is going to work. I think Angie is going to scatter Nottingham Forest and then they relegate.